Hi. Hey, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Purpose Practitioners Club podcast. Of course, I'm happy. I'm always happy to be hosting you. I'm always happy to have you here. So, whether you watch or you listen, just know that I'm very, very grateful to have you here. Please remember to subscribe, whether you are listening to this on a podcast streaming platform or you're watching on YouTube. Please don't leave without subscribing. Like it and share it and make sure that the word spreads that this is where it's happening. All right, before we get into the content of today's episode, I have to make this announcement. If you followed me for any period of time, you know that I always talk about the night in April 2018 that changed my life. That was the night that God woke me up to say, I've got the blueprint, you're ready to receive it. And of course, all I wanted was my purpose because I'd spent that year and a number of years before that really seeking God to know what it is I need to do with my life because I had this gap in me of not knowing what my life means, why I'm here on this earth, and what job I should do that is in line with this work, that will give me joy, that'll make sure that my life is serving its use and its purpose. And of course, that will make me wealth, make me money. So that night changed my life. I always talk about the blueprints. Guess what? On the 24th of March, 2021, it's going to be a Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. I'm going to be sharing for the very first time this entire blueprint in detail. I've never done it before, and I think it's time. I think it's time people learn the 15 P's of purpose that God gave me on how to discover your purpose, how to align it to a profession, and how to thrive in it apologetically. All I wanted was my purpose, but God gave me the blueprints, this framework that I use to discover my purpose, this framework that helped me establish this business, Purpose Practitioners Club, and this framework that ensures that I operate in excellence, that I thrive, that I flourish, and I'm living well. And I want to share it with you. So join me for the 15 P's of Purpose webinar that is going to be giving you essentially the ultimate framework. Discover your purpose, align it to a profession, and thrive. If you miss this, you will never hear me give this framework again. So I don't want you to miss it. Remember, it's happening on the 24th of March, 2021. It is happening on at 6 p.m. This is a Wednesday evening. And we're launching something super exciting. Man, you just don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the framework because you're going to leave there with so much value and knowing what to implement. But beyond that, your life is going to change. And I want to change your life. So please, the details and the link are in the show notes if you're listening on podcast, but in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. Just sign up, sign up, sign up. Okay. Now let's get into today's episode. A number of people I speak to, whether these are friends or whether these are people who book discovery calls with me or people who contact me on social media, say something similar to this. Bumi, I hate my job and I'm thinking of changing jobs and going somewhere else. I'm frustrated here. I feel stuck. I don't know what to do. And I think finding a job will help. Let me break it down to you like this: it's not going to help. Why? Because your unfulfillment, you feeling stuck and not knowing what you need to do, is revealing to you an existential crisis. You are asking a foundational and fundamental question, and that is, what am I here on this earth for? What is my life meant to do? What does it mean for me to be here? That's what you need to answer. Going to another job will not help. It's like if you're bleeding, right? Let's say you got shot at the place and you're like, oh, you're bleeding and all this blood is coming out, and you're like, oh, you know what will help? Let me just go to that corner over there. Maybe the bleeding will stop. And you get there and you continue bleeding. And you're like, "Ugh, okay, let me maybe go to the mall." And you go to the mall and you're like, "Ugh," and the bleeding just doesn't stop because you're not taking the bullet out and dressing, not even dressing, but cleaning that wound and dressing it and make sure that whatever bandage you put on is not just fielding mounds of blood. So wanting to hop from one job to another is basically you wanting to bleed in different spots and not removing the bullets and cleaning the wound and putting whatever is needed to heal the wound and then dressing the wound. You are trying to solve symptoms and not trying to solve the root, the cause, the actual problem. Your issue is a foundational one. It's a fundamental one. It is an existential one. So hopping from one place to another is not going to help. What you need to do instead is to find the purpose, the foundation, the reason you exist, the reason you were created and are here on this earth for. And once that is answered, once you know the why, the how sorts itself out, the what sorts itself out. But you cannot want to bleed in different spots instead of solving the problem. And the problem is you need to know what your purpose is so you can align that purpose to a profession. And every decision you make, whether it's continuing in corporate, whether it's going into business, starting a business and getting into entrepreneurship, whether it is an NPO that you start, whether you go into the creative space, whether you go into academia, research, and whether you actually go into full-time ministry, once that why is sorted, once that foundational answer is there, everything sorts itself out. The how gets clear, the what gets clear, when the why, when the purpose question is answered. And here's why it will never get solved, because in your purpose, there are three benefits, key benefits. There are three pillars of purpose that change your life and make work worthwhile. And outside of your purpose, these things will never they will never get into place. They will never be established or fulfilled. And these things are fulfillment, impact, and wealth. Outside of your purpose, you will never get to experience these things. And even if you do, let's say you're able to create wealth outside of your purpose because you keep changing jobs and you get paid higher and higher. The existential thing will never leave you. That gap will never be fulfilled. So, yes, you'll be making a lot of money, but are you going to be happy? Yes, you'll be making a lot of money, but is your life going to count for anything? Are you going to be creating impact? So let's get into these three things, these three pillars. All right. If purpose is the foundation, then these are the pillars that keep it going. These are the main benefits of aligning your purpose to a profession instead of just hopping from one place to another and then to another. Number one, fulfillment. Fulfillment comes with doing work that you love. Right now, all you're doing is just working because you're competent. You've got a degree, somebody hired you, you've got a brain, and you can do the job. But it's not work that you love. It's not work that you would wake up at 3 a.m. to do. Let me tell you something. I at times I feel bad for sleeping. I'm just like, "Ugh, you shouldn't be sleeping. Do work." I dream about Purpose Practitioners Club. I dream about work. This very morning, as I'm recording this, I had a dream and I was just like, yes, yes, yes. This is what I'm going to do. This podcast. I dream about Purpose Practitioners Club work because it's work I absolutely love. Coaching, consulting, speaking, teaching, developing people, changing their lives, helping them achieve their purpose, discover their potential. It gives me absolute joy. This is work that I love. And when you're not doing work you love, the fulfillment doesn't come. Another thing that makes you unfulfilled at your job is the stress you have to endure, the stress of just being competent and not being innovative and not being excellent. That thing is stressful. Doing work because you've got deadlines, doing work because you have to do it, is very stressful. People who aren't where they are meant to be, who aren't operating in their zone of excellence and in their zone of genius, are often stressed because they're not imaginative, they're not creative, they are not innovative in that space. And it causes so much stress because you have to force yourself out of bed. You have to force yourself to actually enjoy the day. You have to force yourself to do work that you don't love. That is very, very stressful. Staying up late, getting up early, just to check a list, just to clock time, just to build time, that is very, very stressful and absolutely not necessary. Another thing that being in your purpose allows you is time freedom. A lot of people who've left their corporate jobs in pursuits of their purpose and are now entrepreneurs or are content creators or have found jobs that make sense for them and are in line with what they're meant to do. They talk about this time freedom of owning their time, of not being told how to spend their time. And if you're in corporate, you nobody has to tell you how to spend your time because you're able to be efficient and innovative in a very short period of time. Owning your time as an entrepreneur, I am happy to own my time. Of course, now I'm still in corporate, and that is going to change very soon. Hallelujah. But I know that I say when I wake up, I say when I go to bed, I put up my schedule, and I get to experience other things in life. If I want to go to the doctor, I can go to the doctor, and I'm not concerned with I'm on somebody's time. If I don't do this in this time, it's going to be a problem. But I own my time. I'm not set on a I'm not set on between this time and this time, this is where your time belongs. But you are able to set whatever time you want because of innovation, right? And creativity and imagination. You actually find that you don't have to spend the whole day on a project. You literally can do it efficiently and effectively in a short period of time, and you own the rest of your time. You determine when to take holidays, you determine when to see a doctor, how to spend time with your family and your friends. You own your time. It also allows you location freedom. You find a lot of people who don't have to be confined to an office or to a particular location in order to do the work that they need to do. They can work in a beach, for crying out loud. They can work wherever they want to work. Location freedom. Also, being in your purpose allows you to be where you want to be when you want to be there. If you're a speaker, I don't have to say, "Oh, my job says this." They can book me today and I can fly out to Dubai to speak. That's the beauty of being in your purpose. You own your time, but you also own the location. You location and time freedom, excellent benefits. Another thing is ownership and control. Let's be honest. In a job, you don't have ownership, you don't have control. Somebody tells you what needs to be done and when it needs to be done and how it needs to be done. You don't own the inputs, you don't own the outputs, you don't even own the process. It is do this or whatever else, right? But in your purpose, it's so beautiful because you take ownership and you take control. You are able to express yourself creatively. You're able to solution in a way that is unique to you and is so relevant to the people that are attached to your purpose. And this one thing that I'm about to say now, it resonates so much with me. But being outside of your purpose, you find yourself in a place where you always have to fight to matter. Yeah, this is really touching me in my studio. You have to fight to matter. In corporate, you need them, and that's why you're still stuck. You need the salary that they give you, you need the benefits, you need the other perks. But the problem is that the bottom can fall anytime. Listen, they can replace you anytime. And that's the issue. You always have to fight to matter because you are replaceable. If you die today, tomorrow they found somebody else to fulfill your role. If you leave today, great. You are reducing their cost. You're reducing the cost of the company that you are. The bottom can fall any day and you'll be left in dire straits. This pandemic proved to us that when 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 things hit the fan, corporates always choose the bottom line and you become a casualty because you cost the business so much. You always have to fight to matter. When you do performance reviews, you have to prove why you have to stay or why you have to get promoted. Bonus time, you have to fight to matter. Oh, give me a bonus. When you have to talk about an increase, you have to fight to get that. Everything is a fight because they don't need you. You need them. They can always find somebody else to do what you do. They can always find somebody else or something else, even that can do what you do at less cost and at less time. That's the problem. You always have to fight to matter. But in your purpose, you matter because your very life is service. Your existence, the reason for your being is service. There are people attached to your purpose. So, for as long as you still have breath in your lungs, for as long as you're still alive, you are a necessity. You are relevant. You solve a problem. You are needed. That's what happens in your purpose, because your life, what you know, the things you have to give, they are an answer. And I'm moving into my next part, but you are an answer to a problem that this world has. So you'll always be needed. You don't have to fight to matter. You matter by being, simply by breathing. You matter and you solve a problem. So, when I talk about fulfillment, these are really the things I want you to talk about. Outside of your purpose, you'll never get to experience doing a job you love, experiencing little stress. And let me be honest here. Running my own business, Purpose Practitioners Club, comes with its own stresses, but it stresses with perspective. When I launch, there's a lot of stress attached to that, but I know that if I get it right at launch, I can experience the next 3 months not having to worry because I've done the work that I need to do. But also, the people that I'm meant to help are getting the help. It's work that I love. It's stress that comes with having to do the things that I need to do, and all the pressures that come with that. But it's not stress that doesn't have perspective. It's not stress that doesn't have an end in mind. I know my people will get solved, will get help, and also I will be doing work I love. But in corporate, it's not the same. So that's the fulfillment: time freedom, location freedom, ownership and control, and never having to fight to matter. Okay. And then let's talk about impact. I've been saying you are the answer. People are asking questions. People have problems. People need solutions. And you are the answer. You are here to fill a gap. Literally, all of us are a part of a puzzle. Everyone in position, make sure that the gaps are filled. You being away from your purpose and in a job that you don't like means, would see, there's a gap that's being filled, and there's a gap that's empty rather, and there's a leak. So we're seeing all these people having problems, crime, and all these things because there's a leak. You are not filling that gap, but everyone doing what they need to do. And that's why it's so important for me to do the work that I need to do, or the work that I'm doing, because I'm literally placing people in the gaps that they need to fill, so that there's no leaks, so that the picture is complete. So when you're not doing what you need to do, there's a gap that's not being filled. There are questions that are not being answered. There is something that is not being solved because you're not in position. Listen to me. Each of us are given a God given task. God has put eternity in our hearts. And for as long as we are not playing a part in that God given task, the gap within us, even, will never, ever get filled. Your story matters. Imagine if I had never found the relevance, and if I'd never found the potency and the value of my story, if I'd never told you about my situation of really feeling confused in varsity, if I hadn't told you about the day which was supposed to be one of my happiest days, my graduations, but was a day of sore reflection for me, if I'd not told you about a year when I was absolutely miserable in mining, if I hadn't told you my story about switching careers, if I hadn't told you about my story of God revealing my purpose to me, where would you be? You would probably still be stuck because you don't realize that there is a solution. Me telling you a story that you could relate to lets you know that there is an answer to your problem. It lets you know that your struggle is not in vain. It lets you know that you don't have to stay stuck forever. So, how many people are not getting served because you believe your story doesn't matter? Your story can create impacts. Your story can change somebody's life. And I want you to realize that your purpose story matters. This is something that I work on with my clients. We work on their purpose story so that they know that it's important, but so that they get it right. And when they step onto their purpose platforms, they can unlock somebody's mind. They can help somebody escape out of their misery, whatever that misery looks like, and their story can touch lives. Also, you have skills that you've amassed over the period of your misery or your working career, skills that will help solve problems and enhance people's lives. That's where the impact comes in you realizing that you're an answer and giving people those answers to their questions, in you sharing your story and relating to people who you're meant to serve. It's you filling a gap. It's you knowing that your life counts for something and living up to that. That's the beauty of being in your purpose. You create impact with your skills, with your experience, with your story, with your very life. And finally, I want to talk about wealth. Wealth, something that the Christians are like, ah, no, we can't be wealthy. So if you can't be wealthy, you're supposed to be poor. Hi, guys. What theology is that? What philosophy is that? Let's really quit that thing. Anyway, here's what I want to say: the white man will never make you wealthy. The white man will never make you wealthy. If you think staying in corporate will make you wealthy, think again. If you read history and even recent times, people who are wealthy didn't get there just from their corporate jobs. They found what they're passionate about, they found their purpose, and from that have done what they need to do. Think about Amazon. Jeff Bezos, he started that thing because he's like, you know what? I need to make people's lives easier and efficient. And he started Amazon. His passion was to see people's lives being more efficient and creating convenience. And that's what he did. He created Amazon. And where is he? Wealth, wealthy, yes. So in your wealth, you need to realize, Uguti, you being in corporates, that salary is not going to create wealthy because it's not meant for that. The way it's structured is that it gives you enough of what you need for this month, so you keep coming back for next month and next month and next month. It's enough to pay your bills and to service your debts. And if you leave, you've got a problem. That's just how it's designed. But if you want to create real wealth, it's not in corporates. It's not in that one salary. And here's the other beautiful thing about being in purpose: there's no cap to your earning potential. Absolutely no cap to your earning potential. I love this because in your purpose, you're able to utilize every one of your strengths, every one of your gifts, every one of your passions, every one of your talents. Your mind you can utilize, your very existence you can monetize. Your relationships can be monetized. Think about it: in your corporate job, you were hired for a particular skill. All your job requires is a particular skill, not everything that you come with, not the full package. But in your purpose, it's literally the one place where you can express every single aspect of yourself. And that's why I advocate for aligning your purpose to your profession, because a profession allows you to get paid. So if your purpose is attached to a profession that gets you paid, it means you can get paid in a plethora of ways, in a multitude of ways. And this will help you knock off debts. This will help you start your journey to wealth. It will help you do so much. Okay. So if you're worried, I've got so much debt, I need to stay in this job. No, actually, you need to step into your purpose and it will help you knock off debts, because even easier and quicker, because there are many, many ways for you to earn. Number two, it creates, or number three rather, it creates multiple streams of income. I've already told you, it unlocks so many ways for you to get paid. So instead of worrying about reducing expenses, you are happy because you've increased your earning potential. Instead of saying, oh, this one salary, hey, I have to make sure with everything fits in here. It's like, no, I don't have to worry about what I'm spending. And I'm not saying be careless and not frugal and not stick to a budget, but you don't have to worry about limiting your expenses, because you have increased your sources of income. You've increased your income and you don't have to worry about expenses. Also, you're able to save more and invest. Oh my goodness, invest. And when I talk about investing, business is an asset, and you can start a business from your purpose, right? Being in your purpose really allows you to invest not just for growth, but for income, because you are your highest generating assets, your highest profits or income generating assets. You, your purpose, your potential, your value, the value that you add to this world, that is what you can invest in. The biggest thing you can invest in, and you're able to build and creates a legacy, not just for you to leave, but for you to live. Your name will count for something. Your impact will count for something. You live a legacy and you leave a legacy for your children. They are able to come into the asset that you've built if their purpose aligns to yours, and they can build that even for years after you've left, even for years after you've left this earth. And the final thing that I want to talk about is this is something I heard. The best way to help the poor is to not become one of them. The beauty about purpose is that because it unlocks so much earning potential and it makes use of all of you, you're able to amass all this wealth, and with this wealth help other people. And people are like, it's so selfish for me to monetize my skills and my gifts. I'm just like, okay, number one, you're not helping yourself when you're not monetizing on value that you give to the world and solving a problem. You're not helping yourself. You will become poor if all you want to do is just serve, 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 and people cannot show their appreciation to that service by paying you. And you are not going to help everyone because you're going to be like the poor people. The best way to help the poor is to make money so you can help them. Is to make money so you can provide whatever it is that they need. If they're not in need of your service, the money you make from the service you provide helps them. And that's the beauty about being in purpose, is that it will help us get to wealth, and we can use that wealth to service people who can never pay us, people who can never pay us for our service. We are able to take that money and help them. We're able to invest in vehicles and other businesses that help them. There are people who have NPOs. There are people who are running charity. If we can be in our purpose and amass wealth, we're able to donate to those charities huge amounts of money. We're able to take the money there ourselves. We're able to get them the resources that they need to get the things that will help better their lives. So, really, if you want to make a difference in this world, if you really want to make a difference in this world, step into your purpose. But I want to tell you something. If you're like, oh my goodness, I hate it here, I'm stuck, you need to answer that existential question, that fundamental and foundational question: why am I on this earth? Why did God design me like this? And while He's designed me like this, what are the requirements on this design? And when you know the requirements, it will help you know what environments will be suitable for your design. Okay, when you answer the existential question, you say, what is the use of my design? Based on this design, what is the function and intention and aim of my life? And then you position yourself there. You don't randomly say, oh, let me change careers, let me go there, let me go there. It will not solve the problem. Finding your purpose and aligning it to a profession, that's what will help. When that why is answered, the how and the what sorts itself out. It sorts itself out. But until you answer the why, don't look for the what. Don't look for the how. It's never going to make sense. Okay. So if you're ready to find your why, discover your purpose, know how to align it to a profession, and know how to align it unapologetically, I am hosting a webinar called The 15 P's of Purpose, which is the blueprint and the framework God gave me, that what I established my business on, essentially. And I want you to be there so that you can know what the real solution is, what the real answer is, and live a life of fulfillment, live a life of impact, and live a life of wealth. I hope to see you there. Bye.